Today on the 5-Minute Book Review, we take a look at Susanna Sonnenberg's memoir, Her Last Death. Well, Susanna spends the book recounting her troubled childhood where she grew up with an unstable, pathologically lying mother who charms her way into and out of adventure for the whole family while she drinks and does drugs, all while Susanna is struggling to have a normal childhood and grow into a young woman. Coin toss to start, and Curtis is the winner.
You are watching the 5-Minute Book Review starring Curtis and Ian, and today we're going to jump right into it. We're going to take a look at Susanna Sonnenberg's own Her Last Death. The account, she tells the story of her mother, the pathological liar who spent her entire life spinning lies and weaving falsehoods of this poor girl's childhood, and she relives it all through this book. And I have to ask everybody, why? What is she trying to say? You know, lady, your family's messed up, but guess what? Everybody's family's messed up, you know? Not everybody's family pulls them out of school and tours them around the country for 6 months at a time while you party with the famous musicians of the 60s and 70s. That doesn't happen. So I don't really know what you're complaining about there, Susanna, because from reading the book, you had a pretty good life. It was kind of exciting, and not getting a lot of sympathy from this guy. Maybe that's just me being a jerk, but you know what? I read this book, I was jealous. Ian?
Don't know about jealous, but I gotta agree with you. I was reading it and just continually ask myself, why do I care about this? This isn't... I mean, there's an endless array of biographies about people's lives at this point. I mean, I don't understand why I'm reading it or why I honestly care about this person. And even in reading it, I acknowledge the traumas and the abuses she suffered. Like, there were definitely issues there, but I don't think I'm really understanding. I read it and I don't understand how these abuses are affecting their lives, like her life, her life, her current family's life. Like, it just, you're reading it and you just sort of find yourself going, why? Why am I reading this? And as you're reading through it, you're kind of, I can see some people being gripped by it, but she gets into some pretty gritty details about her life. But I mean, that's only going to entertain a certain number of people. I don't feel the writing's there to back it up, or the interest level. Maybe it'll work for some people, but I don't know.
See, what bugs me about these types of books, I'm all for getting second chances and starting over, but she reflects back, like all these books do, so glowingly about what she did, that she's trying to tell you she's ashamed of, but she's clearly not. You know, one chapter reads like Penthouse Magazine Forum, not that I know what that is, but you're just like, man, clearly the brunt of your work writing this book went into those 2 chapters, going to great details explaining all the bad stuff you did. But you don't seem sorry about it, Susanna.
No, she doesn't seem too particularly upset about it. She keeps looking back in the past and saying, this was horrible, here's why I loved it. That's the vibe you get from the book, and it's not like she needs to be, like she needs to be repenting her past or anything, but if we're supposed to be feeling bad for her about what happened in the past, which is the point of the book, then she shouldn't be making us feel good about, well, not necessarily good, but, represent herself as feeling good about what she did. I don't think the book understands what it is, basically.
I'm not sure I understand the book.
Yeah.
And again, we were talking right before the camera started rolling, which is something we probably shouldn't ever do. But just right at the end, she talks about how, she was trying to get her kids ready for breakfast or something, and then she just became paralyzed at the sink. And that went on for like a page, and she was just paralyzed and she couldn't move, and everybody just eventually went off and started working around her.
That made no sense.
I had no idea what that meant. And then she was like, see, and that was kind of how she ended her book. And I was like, no, I don't see, Susanna. I don't know. I don't know. Nothing makes sense.
I kept feeling like I had to go back and reread parts because I felt like I was missing something the whole time. Like, am I missing something here? Like,
why are you standing at the sink, Susanna?
Yeah, why are you stuck at the sink?
Your kids want some P&J sandwiches, Susanna.
Exactly. There's a lot of other books about personal trauma, and not by famous people. Like, it's not an issue of her being famous or not famous.
No.
There's a lot of books out there about trauma and how it affects a person in their adult life, and I think they're done a lot better than this.
Yeah, and I think this lessens the other ones. Read it, Ian, yes or no?
Nah.
There are parts I enjoyed. Thank you. She's fun to make fun of.
Agreed.